Everybody, welcome to the next game in the 2024 Demolition League. We're at game 44 out of 270. And next to last game on the block on this third schedule block. And the game tomorrow, or the final game will be Kansas City and Toronto from Kansas City. That'll be next. Probably either tonight or Monday, depending on which we do. And coming up for the Twins and the Cubs, two pitchers that have not pitched yet. We've got Simeon Woods Richardson for the Twins, a right-hander, and we have Shota Imanaga for the Cubs, a left-hander. The four starters have had two starts each for each of these teams. This is game number 9, so we went to our 5th starters to try to make sure we don't overwork the other starters. So that's what we came up with. We're at Target Field, and I forgot to write in the ballpark effects. Boy, that was pretty bad, wasn't it? Missing on the job there, so let me pull out the ballpark effects and make sure we have those in place for Target Field. And we are looking at an 11. Let's see here. Singles, according to the chart, are going to be 11 for both sides. Home runs are going to be 11 left and 8 right. All right, so there are your ballpark effects. I'd forgotten to do that. Hello, Ben. Hello, Kenyon. Hello, P. Madoff. So like I said, Twins and Cubs, first starts for each of these pitchers. Both of them have injury chances of 6-12. They have ones on their roster sheet, which means 6-12 will be checking injuries on both. All right, back on the roster is Royce Lewis. He's back from being away, so he is going to be on the roster at third base for the Twins, and Julian, or whatever his name was sent down to the minor leagues. For the Cubs, I don't think there's any changes there. They don't have any injuries or anything to worry about, so they're pretty much all straight. And I think we're about ready to go. Got the game up on the computer, and we're all good. Hello, Chuck, just for you. I took this picture literally 3 minutes ago, right before I came upstairs. There she is. I can't compete with that. She's right by the back door. Screens, the window's open with the screen, so she's getting her sun on her face and the fresh air. So that's something I can't compete with, to have her come up here. So I'm not going to look at that face and tell her she has to come up here. She can do what she wants, basically. It's her house. She just lets us live here. It's basically how that works. But that's, if you want to know about Tabby, there she is. She's doing quite well, but she just prefers to be down there where she can do her own thing. That is correct, Ben. We're going to give her as much window time as we can because the winter is on the way. And certainly she'll get it when the sun's out. But once it gets dark, especially when the time changes in a couple weeks, that's really going to affect everything. So we'll get bring that back on, get a little more light on the subject here. All right, so let me get the game up on the computer so we have it ready to roll. And Simeon Woods Richardson, never heard of the guy. I had to look up his first name. It's Simeon. So Simeon Woods Richardson in 2024 was 5-5 with a 4.17 ERA. He had 28 starts. I just never heard of the guy. I mean, of course, I'm not a modern baseball aficionado. I mean, I've been watching some of the playoffs, and obviously Shohei Ohtani was insane, and the Dodgers dispatched the Brewers in 4 games. But I have been watching it all season, so I don't know who these guys are, and certainly last year I didn't either. So, all right, so for the Cubs, it'll be Ian Happ to lead things off. And, of course, Simeon Woods Richardson, this is his first game, so he has no stats on the replay because it's his first start. Ian Happ on the replay is hitting .208, a homer and 3 driven in. So he's kind of struggling to start things off. He hit .243 real world. So it'll be Happ, PCA, and Bellinger And Bellinger, for the first time, I think, will go to first base as PCA takes over in center field. Have been playing him at center field with Bush at first base, but now we're going to go to this route. Let's see how it works out. 4-9, left-hander. That's an in-home run chance for Ian Happ, but that's an 18, so that will be just a fly ball to right field. And there's one away. So right off the bat, Woods Richardson catches a break on the D20, and that'll bring up Pete Crow Armstrong, also known as PCA by the announcers. He's only had 6 at-bats. He's 3 for 6 with a run batted in, hitting the even 500. One of those 3 hits has been a double. It's a 6-6 left-handed, and that's a base on balls. So walk issued by Woods Richardson. PCA now has a chance to maybe get a steal. Woods Richardson is a 0 arm, and Vasquez is a 0, so it's a net 0 for his pitcher-catcher hold. So if he gets the lead, it's a 1-17, so that's pretty good. So he's going to try for the lead. Needs a 2 through 5, an 11, or a 12. And he gets the 5. He will get the lead. It's a 19, being held to 17. 1-17. The T rating on Vasquez is a 6, so they'll throw through. And he's safe. So stolen for PCA. He's at second base, and that will send up Cody Bellinger, now playing first base in this game. Oops. Bellinger on the replay hitting 207 in 29 at-bats. He hit 266 real world, but of course it's very, very early to compare stats. 2-4 for Bellinger, and that's a ground ball shortstop A. That'll be a Taylor. I'm sorry. We stole the base. That's another reason why you steal. It's not only to get the runner in scoring position, but it's to take away these double plays. And there you go. Had I not stolen the base, that would have been a double play. Instead, it's just a ground ball to short. So there's dual meanings in stealing the bases, not just to get the runner in scoring position, although that's the primary reason you do it. But it also has ripple effects where you don't get that double play. So here's Seiya Suzuki, right fielder. And Suzuki hitting 296 on the replay, 1 homer and 2 driven in 27 at-bats. Clutch situation in the clutch. He loses a hit on 3-12 and 3-5. Also on 1-8 and 1-2. So 4 spots. He's anti-clutch. That's a 6-8, though. 6-8 is a ground ball second base X. We are looking at Mastroboni. They're giving Nico Horner the day off. So Mastroboni's a 3E16. 3 and a 13, he'll get to that. E16 and a 10. There's usually not too many errors on 10s unless you're a really bad fielder. So it's good play, and that will end the inning. Sorry, it's not Mastroboni. That actually messed it up. That was Castro, 3E10. So an E10 and a 10. Still don't think it's any problem. No, it's not. So forgot who was batting there. So it was actually, the play was actually made by Willie Castro. So that's going to end the inning. Nothing doing for the Cubbies. They get a walk and a stolen base, but nothing else. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Chicago nothing. And the Minnesota Twins coming to bat against Shota Imanaga, a left-hander. 15-3 with a 2.91 ERA and 29 starts. So Shota Imanaga getting the call. Twins are 6-2, Cubs 3-5. So the Cubs really could use a win here. They don't want to fall further behind the Twins. They're already 3 games back. They don't want to get further behind. All right, here is Byron Buxton. And on the replay, Buxton's hitting 344, a homer and 2 driven in against the lefty Imanaga, 3-8. And that's a single for Byron Buxton. Leadoff single. And let's see, Imanaga is a -6 hold. +1 from Amaya is still going to be a -5. So if he tries to run, you're looking at a -7. Be 1-11. They're still going to try it. Needs a 7. Doesn't get it. Doesn't matter. So Buxton is on, and here comes Royce Lewis. He played the first game and then went out for a while. But now he's back. Royce Lewis. He's only had 4 at bats. 1 for 4, 250 average. 4-6, and that's a strikeout for Imanaga, his first. 1 down, and that sends up Carlos Santana, the first baseman. Hello, Frank. Good to see you. All right, here is Santana, and he's hitting .357 in 28 at bats, a homer and 4 driven in. 110. That's a ground ball pitcher A. That'll be a double play. That'll be a 1 to 4 to 3 double play with the right-hander batting. Second baseman Mastrobuoni turns the double play. 1-4-3. And just like that, the inning's over. So nothing doing for either team in the first. We go to the second. No score. And just as a side note, I've gotten some pretty good feedback on the 1987 National League, playing one of those games like once a week, just to make be a different variety. So this Friday, I will be doing that. We'll be playing the May 29th game. Only game scheduled on May 29th in the National League. We'll be playing that one, Atlanta at St. Louis. Rick Mailer against Tim Conroy. I do have a Tim Conroy card. He was carded with the team, so we will be playing that game from Busch Stadium, as the Cardinals were the National League champions in 1987. All right, here's Michael Tauchman. He's been struggling, hitting .091 in 22 at-bats, no homers and a run driven in. He is doing the designated hitting duties in this one. 1-3 is going to foul out to first baseman Santana, and that's one away. And that'll send up Dansby Swanson, the shortstop. Swanson struggling as well, only hitting .125 in 24 at-bats. No homers and a run driven in. 4-5, right-handed, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Correa. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. Looking at the E10, and the only errors on E10 are 16, 17, 3, and 18. So he just needs to avoid those 4 numbers, and he does. So Correa makes the play. 2 down. Hello, Colin and Kenyon. So here's Amaya, Miguel Amaya, the catcher. He's hitting .211, 1 homer, 3 driven in. 1-5, and that's a fly to left field. That's going to end the inning. So Simeon Woods Richardson, 2 shutout innings to start his season. And Imanaga will come back out, and he'll be facing Correa, Martin, and Margot, as Minnesota has all right-handers or switch hitters in the lineup. No lefties against Imanaga. Everybody's either a switch or a right. All right, so Correa on the replay hitting .333 and 30 at-bats, 2 homers, 7 driven in. It's a .311, and that's a ballpark single check, and it's a 1-2-11, but that's a 20, so he will line it to short. We're out number 1. 1 down, and that's going to take us to Austin Martin playing left field in this one. Martin, in just 12 at-bats, is 3 for 12, a .250 average, no homers, 2 driven in. It's 1-7, and he's going to pop it up to third. Morel will make the catch. 2 down for Manuel Margot. Margot in right field for this one. He is hitting .375 and 16 at-bats. No homers, 2 driven in. 4-10 against a right-hander is a fly ball to center field. And PCA will take care of that to end the inning. I just call him PCA because it's a lot quicker than trying to say out his whole name. So, and that's what the Cub announcers call him anyway, is PCA. So we'll go with that. So at the end of 2 complete, no score, we go to the top of the third. It'll be Christopher Morel, the third baseman, leading things off. Wait a minute, did I miss somebody? What happened here? Why am I out of place? You know what? I had Morel and Amaya bat out of turn is what happened. But I don't know what happened on the... No, it should be Amaya. Okay, I had it right. You know what it was? When Morel made the out, I didn't move the card. That's what it was. I did have Amaya and Mastrobuoni as the next 2 hitters on the computer. So, all right, so everything's safe. I just didn't. Sometimes when the inning ends, sometimes for whatever reason, I forget to move the card. So here is Amaya. Amaya is hitting .286 in 14 at-bats, 3 homers, 5 driven in. So we've got 3 homers in 8 games for Amaya. 1-7, but this is a 1-15 single. That'll be a base hit for Amaya as he starts the third with the base hit. And here is Mastroboni. And, of course, all these players have terrible bunt ratings, so really not much of a chance to do any bunting. They're not holding Amaya on, so it's not going to help the hit-and-run calls either. So Mastroboni will just swing away. 5-11, and that's a pop out to second base, as that one is handled by Castro. One down. And that will send us to Ian Happ. Happ flew to right his first chance. 3-8, and he's going to do more than that this time. 1-10 is a home run. That's an 11. So he will double to center field, will Happ. Buxton is a -2 arm. Amaya only runs at a 9, not being held as a 10. The -2 is an 8, so they will hold him at third base. Second and third, one out. And the first real threat of the game coming up by the Cubs with PCA at the plate. Twins will play the infield in. They don't give up a cheap run here. Hey, Jimmy Jam. Good to see you. Infield is in for PCA. 3-3, and it's a ground ball first base C. It's a good thing they played in, because a ground ball first base C means runners hold and runner is out at first. Without that, it would have been a run-scoring ground out. So it was questionable whether you played him in or not. I mean, you could have played back early, since it's still kind of early, but just felt like they didn't want to give up a cheap run, and that would have been a cheap run had they allowed it. Here's Cody Bellinger. First base is open, but I don't think they want to walk Bellinger to pitch to Suzuki, so they're going to go ahead and pitch to Bellinger. 6-8. Ground ball second base X. Castro's a 3-E-10. 3-20, he'll get to that, but that 17 on the E10 is kind of rough with those big numbers. So E10, second baseman, and a 17. There's a 17 right there. So Castro boots it as an E10. A 17 is a boot, and that'll score the first run of the game as Amaya comes across the plate on an unearned run. E4. Going to third base is Happ. So that's a big mistake there by Castro, as Woods Richardson should have been out of the inning. All right, Bellinger is at first base with 2 outs, and he could think about trying to get the lead. Let's see, he needs a 5. Does not get it, so he'll hold, and here's Seiya Suzuki. 5-8, and that's more trouble for Woods Richardson. It's going to be a single 2 stars. That'll score Happ from third, obviously. And going to third is Bellinger. RBI single for Suzuki, the second unearned run of the inning. And, of course, that one error has kind of opened the floodgates now, and it's 2-0 Cubs. All these runs are unearned. Here's Michael Tauchman. Suzuki could try to get a lead here, but he's not going to do that. They're going to let Tauchman swing away. 5-4, and he's going to ground it to third. That's a chance for Lewis. 3-E-21 for Lewis. 3-20 is good. The E21 and the 8 at third base. E21, there is no 8, so Lewis will make the play. But the Cubs pick up 2 runs. They're both unearned off of Woods Richardson. And the Cubs lead at 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. They turn that lead over to Shota Imanaga. And ironically, the guy who made the error, Willie Castro, will lead off the inning. So the Cubs trying to protect a 2-run lead. I just hit the mute button before I sneezed. I barely made it, but I did. I didn't want to sneeze on you guys. So I did make it. All right. So Willie Castro hitting 192 on the replay. No homers and a run driven in. 110 against the lefty is a 1-6 triple. That's a 4. So Willie Castro, a leadoff triple for Willie Castro on the season in 2024. he had 5 triples to go with 31 doubles and 12 homers. So he did some damage there. So he is at third base with the leadoff triple. And with nobody out, they'll play the infield back. They want to get an out. Here's Jose Miranda. Jose Miranda hitting 143, 2 out of 14. One of those 2 hits, though, is a triple. No homers or runs batted in. And the infield is back. 3-5 against the left-hander, and that's a ground ball shortstop A. And I think that will be enough. I'm pretty sure if I remember the results there, I believe if it's to the middle infield, it's going to score the run. If it's to the corner out infield, the runners hold. But I will verify that. Now I got to find I can't find my rule book now. It's buried under some other score sheets from other places. So let me see if I can find that just to verify, because I want to get it right, make sure I'm not making a mistake here. But I'm pretty sure with the infield back and it going to the middle infield that is going to be a standard ground out to short. There it is. It was buried under some stuff here. Okay. Let's get that out just so I can make sure that's 100% correct. All right, so runner on third, infield back, runner on third, and the ground ball A is a 5. 5 says if hit to second or short, batter out, runners advance. Okay, so that's exactly what we had. We had a 3-5, which was a ground ball to short, so the run will score. So RBI ground out by Miranda brings home Castro and cuts the lead to 2-1. Now the bases are clear with 1 out for catcher Christian Vasquez. They're giving Jeffers the day off. They're not even DHing him because if you want to pinch hit for Vasquez, then you'd lose your DH. So, all right, here is Vasquez. He's hitting 308 on the replay. No homers and a run driven in. That's a 112, and that's a split chance. 1-11, that's a 15. He'll line it to short, where Swanson will make the play. 2 down and back to the top of the order for Buxton. It's a 1-4, and he's going to get hit by a pitch, so Buxton gets plunked. 2 out, hit by a pitch, and Buxton's going to try to get the lead to get some revenge here. He needs a 7 to do it. Doesn't get it. He'll hold for Royce Lewis. 6-9, and that's trouble for Imanaga. 1-14 is a home run. That's a 20. It'll be a double. Double to center field. It's always assumed to go to center field when it's not mentioned. PCA is a -2 arm. So Buxton being held makes him a 16. 2 outs makes him an 18, but then the -2 again makes it a 16. So 1-16, they're going to send him. See if he can tie the game, and he does. So it's an RBI double from Royce Lewis. And since Lewis runs less than 13, he will stay at second. I will not give him the overthrow. My house rule is you have to be at least a 13 speed to take the extra base. So it's a double. And we are tied at 2 apiece. Royce Lewis, first game back since game 1, and he's making an impact. 2-2, and that brings up Carlos Santana. In a clutch situation, Santana gets the lefty, will lose a hit on 1-6 and on 3-6. 4-8, and switch hitter batting right-handed is a pop-up to short. And that will end the inning. So the Twins match the Cubs 2 runs with 2 runs of their own. These are both earned, but they count just the same anyway. And at the end of 3 complete, we are tied at 2 apiece. Dave Gardner is the master at the hockey game, and I don't even pretend to know anything about hockey. So, yep, he's definitely and he plays like 15 different hockey games. I didn't know there were so many hockey games out there. Between APA hockey, Stone Cold hockey, fast action hockey, whatever else you want to call it, Strat-O-Matic hockey, inside the crease, all sorts of hockey games that he plays that I know nothing about. All right, here is Dansby Swanson, but he's definitely the king of the hockey circuit and the late night talk circuit. That's his 2 areas of expertise. All right, here's Dansby Swanson. 4-2, and that's a fly ball to left, one away. I mean, he could come on at 11 o'clock tonight and say, I'm going to the bathroom, folks, and 50 people would show up. So just the way it is. All right, here's Christopher Morel. 212, and that's going to be a ballpark blast. That's 1-8. That's a 15. It flies to left. 2 down. All right. 2 away for Miguel Amaya. 4-4. And that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. That is going to be Correa. He's a 1E10. You know he's going to get to it. The only errors on E10s for shortstops, again, we just saw that earlier, is 16, 17, and 18. So there's no error there. Correa makes the play, and the inning's over. Go to the bottom of the 4th, still 2-2. It'll be Correa leading things off. Correa, his first time up, lined out on a failed ballpark check. 5-9. This time he's going to strike out. Imanaga gets his second strikeout. 1 away. Here's Austin Martin. 2-7. He will fly to center. PCA is there to handle it. 2 down. For Manuel Margot. 4-5, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Swanson. He's a 1E6. You know he's going to get to it with the E6. I mean, with the 1. With the E6, the only 2 errors are 16 and 18. And they definitely didn't find that. So it's 1-2-3 inning for Imanaga. And we go to the 5th, still tied at 2. This will be the fatigue inning for Woods Richardson. He has a 5 here, so we'll see how long he can go. Miles Mastrobuoni, the second baseman, leads off. No, Jimmy Jams, she has her hobbies and I have mine, so we're mutually exclusive on our hobbies. Frank, Kirk Berglund has sold many products based on his demos and his endorsements of certain games. He certainly has. 3-8, and that's going to be a 1-6 single. That's a 14. He lines to second. I know at one point earlier on he was doing a lot with pine tar baseball, but lately he's been more into the play baseball because he has that special set that I don't know if he made the set, but Play's selling it. So I'm guessing if he made it on their behalf. They probably commissioned him to make it somehow, and he probably gets I don't know how they're working him get reimbursed for that, but I know he's got some sort of a 50-year or something or other on the play set. All right, here, and nobody does an unboxing like Kurt Berglund. Let's just tell it like it is. There was no such thing as an authentic unboxing until Kurt Berglund came along. All right, that's just the way it is. And now every other unboxing is measured by his criteria of a authentic unboxing, where you have to have, everything's got to be sealed. You can't have anything opened ahead of time if you want to be authentic. So, and he's got a very unique sense of humor, which is also good. All right, here is 5-8, and that's going to be a trouble for Richardson. 1-3. That's a devil dies a 1. It'll be a double. 1-out double from Ian Happ. And the Cubs have the go-ahead run in scoring position for PCA. That's a 4-8, left-handed. That's a strikeout and a big one for Woods Richardson. And I think that is his first strikeout. Took him 5 innings to get it, but he got one. 2 away now in a clutch situation for Cody Bellinger. And in the clutch against right-handers, he gains a hit on 2-3, and he's neutral everywhere else. And what do we get here at 2-3? Is that amazing? I say the only clutch hit or the only clutch change is a 2-3, and what do we roll? We roll a 2-3. So it will not be a line out to first base. It'll be a single 2 stars, and the Cubs will take the lead on a literal clutch hit by Cody Bellinger. Like I said, I don't know how. I mean, some people don't like the clutch; they think it's stupid or whatever. But I figure if Strat took the time to rate it, there's got to be a reasoning behind it. So I play with it. All right, here's Seiya Suzuki, and actually Bellinger now. Chance to get the lead with a 5. Doesn't get it. He'll hold, and that'll bring up Seiya Suzuki. That's a 6-6, and that's going to be a walk. And now Woods Richardson is fatigued. So the question is, do they want to let him keep going, or do they bring in a lefty to face Michael Tauchman? I think the Twins are going to go to the bullpen. They don't want this to get any worse than it already is. So Twins will make a move to the bullpen for a left-hander. And it'll be Caleb Thielbar, the left-hander, or Thielbar. I'm not sure if the H is silent or not. I want to say it is. I want to say I've heard him pronounced Thielbar, but I don't know. He's a +4 hold. All right, so Woods Richardson is going to go 4 2/3 in his debut. He's going to give up 5 hits. So far, 3 runs, but these 2 are his responsibility. And those 2 runs are unearned, so only 1 earned run so far. Don't know about everything else. He walked 2 and struck out 1. And now we'll go to the bullpen for the left-hander Caleb Thielbar, or Thielbar. I think it's Thielbar. But what do I know? It's modern baseball, so I don't know. That's the bottom line on that one. So how do you pronounce his name, Thielbar or Thielbar? He's in the game. He's 1-0 with no saves and the ERA of 3. 3 innings pitched, 1 run allowed, 3 hits, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. And it will be a lefty-on-lefty matchup against Michael Tauchman. With runners at first and second and 2 outs. In the clutch, Tauchman against the lefty loses 2 hits. Actually, 3 hits. 2-3, 2-10, and 2-12 are all going to turn into outs against lefties. That's a 4-4. That's a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Buxton. He's a 2E1. So he should get to this. 2-20, he definitely gets to it. And the E1, the only error for a center fielder on an E1 is 17, and that is a 12. So he will make the catch and end the inning. So 1 run in. So close the book on Woods Richardson. 3 runs, 1 earned. And Caleb Thielbar, or Thielbar, gets out of the jam with the fly out to center field. So we go to the bottom of the 5th, and Imanaga now has a lead again to protect. He's going to be facing the bottom of the order, Castro, Miranda, and Vasquez for the Twins. Four, 5, and against a switch hitter batting right-handed, that's a ground ball shortstop X. Again, is Swanson. He's a 1E6, and the only chance for an E6 error for a shortstop, again, is 16 and 18. Anything else, he makes the play. And he does. So Swanson will take care. That's the beauty of and the greatness of having a 1 shortstop. You don't have to worry about the range. You just check for the error with nobody on base. All right, here's Miranda. 6-7. And that's a ground ball second base X. That's Mastroboni. He's a 3E16. 3 and a 9. I think he'll still get to that. Pretty sure he will. 3 and a 9 is a G3, and that is a 12, and he is an E16. E16, there's no 12, so Mastroboni makes the play. 2 down. And that will send up Christian Vasquez, the catcher. To 7, and he's going to ground it to short. So 3 ground ball outs. And Imanaga cruises through the 5th. We start the 6th. Thielbar back out, and he'll be facing Swanson, Morel, and Amaya for the Cubbies here in the top of the 6th. Cubs lead it 3-2. 5-9, and that's a strikeout. So Thielbar gets Swanson on the K. 1 away. And here comes Morrell. And I think, ironically, if I'm not mistaken, I think Teobar actually pitched for the Cubs this past year in 25. So he flips teams, if I remember correctly. Here's Morrell. 2-4. And that's going to be a solid, as Jeff Guterman would say, clean as a baby's ass right there. 2-4. Solid home run. He's a 5'E", 22 third baseman, but he's in here because he can do this, particularly against lefties. So there he is, Christopher Morrell, his second home run of the replay. And it gives the Cubs a 5-3 lead over the Twins. Home run number 2, RBI number 4. He hit 18 home runs real world in 362 at-bats. So the Cubs now lead at 5-3 on the blast by Morrell. And here is Miguel Amaya. 4-4, and that's a fly to center field X. Again, we're looking at Buxton. He's a 2E1. The only error chance is a 17, and on a 2, the only way anything drops in for a hit is if the D20 is a 3 or less. And it's not, so he makes the play on Amaya. 2 down. And that'll send up Mastroboni. He's 0 for 2. That's a 6-5 left-hander against left-hander, and that's a solid double to center field for Mastroboni. Mastroboni cracks a 2-out double, and that brings up Ian Happ. Had been batting left-handed, now he's switched around about bat right-handed. 2-6 against the lefty. He lines it to short, and that will end the inning. But the home run off the bat of Christopher Morrell has given the Cubs a 4-2 lead here. I think I might have said 5-3 by accident at one point. It's really 4-2. Imanaga, this will be his fatigue inning, so we'll keep an eye on him, and he's going to be facing the leadoff spot in Byron Buxton. Frank, if I had, don't tell me I'm getting the circles in the sand. I don't need that right now. I'm seeing circles on my screen temporarily. Looks like it may be coming back, though. So Perry's, or it could be the Negros. Both of those would be good guesses, I guess. All right, here's Byron Buxton. 3-6 against the lefty, and Imanaga is a solid leadoff double for Buxton. So Buxton's had a great game. Single, double, hit by pitch, and scored a run. Can't get much better than that for a leadoff hitter, unless you're a Shohei Ohtani hitting home runs. So Buxton, leadoff double. Now the tying runs at the plate, and Royce Lewis. It's a 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Second baseman is Mastroboni. He's a 3E16. 3 and a 12. He'll get to that. 3 and a 12 is a G2. And that's a 9, and he's an E16. There is no 9. So the ground ball to second, that'll get the runner over to third with 1 out. And let's see what the Cubs want to do. With a 2-run lead, they will play. Well, you know what? They're going to play the infield in. They don't give a cheap run. So the infield is in against Carlos Santana. 4-9, switch hitter batting right-handed, and it doesn't matter where they are. 1's a triple, 2 to 20 is a single. Single, and that's going to score the run to cut the lead to 4-3. 4-3 ball game. And that brings up Carlos Correa. Now Imanaga might be in trouble. 2-4, but not when you get a tailor-made ground ball double play. 6-4-3. Tailor-made double play ends the inning. So the Twins get 1, but that's all they get. We played 6 here at the Target Field, and the score is now Cubs 4 and the Twins 3. Bullpen action in Minnesota. It's bullpen, as they will have Thielbar face Bellinger, but that's going to be it. They will take him out after that, but they want him to face not Bellinger, but PCA. And we'll go to the bullpen and probably looking at at Jorge Alcala, I'm thinking. That's where we're going with that. All right, here is PCA. 5-3 left-handed is a fly ball to center field, and that'll do it for Deal Bar. But the right-hander, I'm sorry, no, he's gonna stay in there to face Bellinger. What was that doing? He's Suzuki. When Suzuki bats, that's when they'll take him out. Jumped the gun there a little bit. Sorry about that. Did jump the gun just a hair. So let's fix that. So Deal Bar will face Bellinger, and then when Suzuki comes up, that's when he will be pulled. So PCA flies to center for the first out. Here's Bellinger, 1-6. He pops him up to second. And that's going to do it for Deal Bar. Deal Bar will now come out of the game. And let's see what he did in the thing here. He gave up 1 run, which was earned on 2 hits. He went an inning. He went 2 innings, basically. A third of an inning here, 2/3 of an inning here, and a full inning here. No walks and a strikeout. And I believe it'll be Alcala, but I'll verify it, make sure Alcala is not being overworked per the Strat computer. So let's see what they show. Make sure we're not overworking him. He is kind of worked a little bit there. Actually, they will go to Griffin Jacks instead. He hasn't worked quite as much. So Griffin Jacks will actually get the call. Right-hander Griffin Jacks. 5-5, 2.03 ERA and 10 saves. So Griffin Jacks. He's a -4. And 2 outs, bases empty for Suzuki. Jacks on the replay, 1-0 with 2 saves, an ERA of 0. 4 innings pitched. He has not given up a hit or a run yet. No walks and 5 strikeouts, so he's almost been perfect. 1-8, and it's not going to be perfect anymore. That's a single for Suzuki. First hit Griffin Jacks has given up this season. And it's a single to Suzuki. 2-out single nonetheless, but a single. And a 5 or a 6 to get the lead. He's got a -4. They'll go ahead and try it. 5 or a 6. I usually try to get the lead regardless, unless the score is out of hand. All right, here's Tauchman. He's 0 for 3. That's a 2, so chance for a balk or pass ball. I'm sorry, balk or pass ball. We're looking at the pass ball rate of Vasquez, which is a 0, so no pass ball there. Here's Tauchman, 3-9. He's going to strike out, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Cubbies in the top of the 7th. We're at the 7th inning stretch, but we're not going to take any breaks. We're just going to keep rolling, literally and figuratively. And Imanaga, see, it's got Martin, Castro, and Miranda due up. Let's look at the Cub bullpen because Imanaga is closing in on fatigue. All right, so let's go to the bullpen for the Cubbies. See who might. Hector Neris, their closer, has really been struggling. So let's see if they can find somebody that can that's not overworked and can actually get something done. Mark Leiter. So they're going to have Mark Leiter come to the ball game. They're going to cap Imanaga at 6 innings. And they will be bringing in Mark Leiter. 2-4, 4.21 ERA and no saves in the 24 season. Mark Leiter. And we'll get the numbers on Imanaga. So let's get those numbers real quick off the Strat computer. Save me the math. Go to our box score. Imanaga, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned. No walks, 2 strikeouts. So the no walks was big for Imanaga, keeping those players off the bases. All right, so now the Twins will have Austin Martin, Margot, and Castro, but A lot of their lefties were on the bench because of the lefty Imanaga. Now that Leiter's in there, they may start going to some pinch hitting. We'll wait and see. On the replay, Leiter is 1-0 with no saves and an ERA of 0. 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Austin Martin will lead us off. 1-5, and he's going to draw a base on balls. So Austin Martin, the tying run, just reaches on a walk. It's a +1 for Leiter, so it's a +2 overall. So Martin, looking to get the lead, needs a 4, 5, or 6 to get the lead. Does not get it. He will hold. Here is Manuel Margot. And interestingly enough, in the season, Margot faced lefties 50% of the time and righties 50% of the time. So I guess it didn't matter with him. 4-4, and that's going to be a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Morel, and that's the problem. He's a 5E22. And a 5 and a 5 is definitely not going to work. 5 and a 5 is a single 2 stars. And that's an 8. He's an E22. There is no 8, but it's a single 2 stars, and that's going to put runners on the corners. Runners on the corners. Nobody out for Willie Castro. And now the infield for the Cubs. Boy, how do you play this one? If you play in, give up a hit, you're going to get a big inning. If you play back and get the double play, they tie the score. I think with nobody out, they're going to play back for the double play. If there's 1 out, they'll play in. 6-3, switch hitter batting left. He gets a strikeout. That's huge for Leiter to get a strikeout. Now the double play will get him out of the inning. But they could play in. So Miranda is your scheduled hitter. 284 hitter, so I don't think you want to pinch hit from Miranda right now. He's a pretty good hitter. But the infield now, with runners at the corners and 1 out, a double play would get you out of the inning. So they're going to play back for the double play. 2-6, and it doesn't matter where they play because that's a solid double to left field for Miranda. And the Twins will tie this ball game as they get to Mark Leiter. And Margot, 14 being held to 13. The double is assumed to go to, it would actually goes to left field here. Happ is a -2. So I think with only 1 out, they will hold him at third base. So it's an RBI double off the bat of Jose Miranda. And now Vasquez will be called back. They will pinch hit for Vasquez. And they will go to the bench for Trevor Larnach, a left-hander. And then they'll bring in Ryan Jeffers to catch. So Larnach will pinch hit here in the bottom of the 7th. Now, do the Cubs, the question is, do the Cubs counter with a lefty? They very well may do that. But if they do that, then the Twins can counter with Jeffers coming into pinch hit. So they might be better off just facing Larnach against Leiter. So he's going to pinch hit here in the 7th inning, and in the 8th inning, Jeffers will catch. So they're going to go ahead and pitch to Larnach, 2nd and 3rd, infield in, after the double from Miranda. But the pinch hitter Larnach is in for Vasquez. And we will go to the computer to get the totals on Larnach. So Larnach on the replay is hitting 143 and 14 at bats. But on the real season, he hit 259 with 15 home runs. So infield is in for the Cubbies. Score tied at 4. You're in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. That's a 5-5, and that doesn't matter where they play. That's a 1-8 triple. That'll be a single 2 stars for Larnach. Single 2 stars for Larnach, and that will plate 2 more runs, and that's going to be it for Leiter. Leiter just lit the fire is what it looks like. 2-run single, pinch hit single for Larnach, and the Twins have regained the lead 6-4, or taken the lead actually for the first time 6-4. And that's going to be it for Leiter. He is done. And the Cubs rather will go to another arm out of the bullpen because Leiter wasn't the answer. Or if he was the answer, they had the wrong question. So they will go to right-hander Keegan Thompson. 2-1, 2 saves, a 2.67 earned run average. So Keegan Thompson will be on. Can't close the book on Leiter just yet. He is responsible for Larnach at first base. So 1 out and runner at first. Now a 6-4 Twins lead. Oh, and Buxton's your batter. Forgot to put him up there. 2-7, and he will fly to center. That's out number 2. So Keegan Thompson retires Buxton for out number 2. And that'll send up Royce Lewis. And Keegan Thompson on the replay is 0-0 with no saves and a 1.80 ERA. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts. 3-5 for Lewis. He will strike out, and that will end the inning. So 3 runs come in against Mark Leiter in 1/3 of an inning pitched. So he had a rough time of it. Walked 1, struck out 1, but gave up the 3 hits and the 3 runs. And we go to the 8th. It is now 6-4 Minnesota. And Griffin Jax back out. He only pitched 1/3 of an inning, so he's still good to go. He'll face Swanson, Morel, and Amaya for the Cubbies here in the 8th. That's a 5-4, and that is a ground ball third base X. You're looking at Lewis. He's a 3 E21. 3 and a 16. It's a good play. E21 and a 13. That could be questionable. E21 and a 13. E21 and a 13 for third baseman. Nope, there's an 11, 16, 15, and 18, but no 13. So Royce Lewis makes the play, and Swanson is retired. And, of course, Jeffers is now the new catcher for the Twins since he came in to replace for defense after replacing the pinch hitter Larnach. And Swanson grounds to Royce Lewis, 1 away. And that will send up Morel. He homered his last time up. 5-9. This time he will strike out. 2 down for Miguel Amaya. It's a 3-6 for Amaya, and that's a 1-7 home run. That's a 6. It's gone. Miguel Amaya. Look at it again. 3-6 is a home run. 1-7. Double dies a 6. So Miguel Amaya just gets the Cubs 1 run closer. And for Amaya, that is his 4th home run of the replay. He's got to be at the top of the league, if not the top, with that 4th home run already in just 9 games. Cuts the lead to 6-5 as things get a little bit more interesting. We'll get a pinch hitter from Mastrobuoni. He does not hit well. So they will go to a pinch hitter for Mastrobuoni. And let's see, all the pinch hitters, however, are right-handed. So I'm not sure who they might want to go to. Mastrobuoni's 194. You know what? There's not a whole lot. Nico Horner, but he's been struggling so much. But you know what? In the real season, he was 273. So they're going to bring in Nico Horner. It also improves their defense because Horner's a 110. So they're going to bring in Nico Horner. Pinch hit. We're trying to give him the game off all the way, but they need his services, so he will come out to pinch hit and then to take over at second base in the bottom of the 8th. In what is now a 6-5 ball game. Nico Horner. Get his numbers on the replay, which has not been good. He's hitting .061 in 33 at-bats. But again, in real season, 2024, he hit .273. So they're hoping he can keep it going right here against Griffin Jax. 4-8, and it's a strikeout to end the inning. But the run comes in on the Amaya home run. We go to and that'll be all for Griffin Jacks. Griffin Jacks will go an inning and 2/3. I think it'd be, no, I'm sorry, inning and a third, rather. Inning and a third. Strikes out 3, gives up the 1 run on the home run. Actually gave up 2 hits, didn't walk anybody. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Keegan Thompson back out for the Cubbies. And Nico Horner will have to be inserted into second base on the computer to fill out that lineup. And coming up for the Twins, it'll be Santana, Correa, and Martin. Due up. Hello, Hyrax. Good to see you. Santana, 6'11". Let's see if that's an injury chance on Keegan Thompson. Anytime you get a number that high on the 6 column, it's possible. Keegan Thompson for the Cubs is a 5. So that's 6'11" is not going to be an error on that or injury on that. So we play it out. 6'11". Switch hitter batting left. It's a ground ball to second. And Santana is retired on the ground ball. I tell you what, bringing a new player to play second base or to play anywhere, in this case second base, and the first ball finds you, just the way it works. Here's Correa, 2-9, and that's going to be a fly to left. That's 2 away. So Keegan Thompson has retired all 4 he has faced to keep his team in the game. Here's Austin Martin. That's a 3-3, and that'll be a base hit. 2-out single for Austin Martin. Thompson is a -1 hold. Amaya is a +1, so it's a net 0 there. Austin Martin, to get the lead, needs a 4, 5, or 6. And he gets the lead, so he'll go 16, being held to 14. 1-14, and he steals it. That's 12, so he steals it. And that could be a big insurance run. Right there, stolen base. And now the Twins may call back Margot. They may go for a lefty. And obviously a better defender because Margot is a 4 rated outfielder, so they probably want a better defender anyway. And they're going to go to Max Kepler, who's their normal right fielder when a righty is pitching. So Max Kepler will pinch hit and stay in the game to play right field. Max Kepler. First base is open. They could walk Kepler and pitch to Castro if they like, depending on what the strategy is. So first of all, we're bringing Kepler on the computer in the pitch hitting position. Kepler on the replay is hitting .286 in 21 at-bats. No homers or runs driven in. Willie Castro is on deck, a switch hitter that hit .247. Kepler hits .253, so it's kind of tit for tat. So I think they're going to go ahead and pitch to Kepler. In the clutch, Kepler will lose a hit on .210. Everywhere else he's neutral. Keegan Thompson to Max Kepler. 6-5, and it's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Swanson. He's a 1, so you know he's going to get to it, just that E6. And the only trouble with an E6 at shortstop, again, is 16 and 18. And that's going to be a fine play by Swanson to end the inning. So Kepler fails in the pinch, but he will stay in the game to play right field, which will help their defense. And now we go to the top of the 9th. Last chance for the Cubbies, and we'll see who's going to come in and pitch for the Twins. We'll see who's available and who is the best candidate. Let's see who they've got here. We're going to go to Cole Sands. He had 4 saves. 9-1, 3.28, and 4 saves. So they're going with Cole Sands out of the bullpen. 0 hold. So Jeffers, we need to get Jeffers' card and see what his defensive rating is. He's a +1, so that makes him a +1 hold, which could be important. Top of the order for the Cubbies, it'll be Happ, Crow, Armstrong, and Bellinger, all three left-handers. They could have gone to Okert out of the bullpen for a left-hander. Let's see if they want to change their mind now that they see what's happening. But Okert had a 5.09 ERA, so I think they prefer to have a guy with a 3.28 ERA in a tight situation. So Cole Sands will be coming on to pitch for the Twins. Try to wrap it up. In the replay, Cole Sands is 0-0 with a save, 0 ERA, 3 innings pitched, no runs, 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. And he's going to be dealing with Ian Happ, PCA, and Bellinger at the top of the order. Happ is 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. It's a 5-8, and that's going to be a strikeout for Mr. Sands. Good start for him, and that brings up PCA. PCA is 0 for 3 with a walk. 3-7, and this is going to be a one-out single for PCA, and he may be looking to run, as he is the tying run at the plate. To get the lead, needs a 2 through 5, an 11 or a 12. Does not get the lead, so he will hold. For Cody Bellinger. Sands to Bellinger. 3-9 for Bellinger, and that's a strikeout by Sands. 2 strikeouts for Sands. And now it's all down to Seiya Suzuki, the cleanup hitter. Suzuki is 2 for 4 2 for 3 with a walk. PCA, the tying run, is at first base. It's a 3-7 for Suzuki, and he walks. His second walk, he's reached base 4 of 5 times, and now first and second, tying run is in scoring position for Michael Tauchman. It is a clutch situation at bat. Tauchman in the clutch loses a hit on 2-6. Everywhere else he is neutral. Sands trying to close it out and make it Sands through the hourglass for the Cubs in the days of their lives. 5-5, but look at this. 1-6 is a home run. That's a 10. It'll be a double for Michael Tauchman. Tauchman was 0 for 4 coming into this at bat, but he just cracks a double. That will tie the score with PCA scoring from second. Now at first base, Suzuki's a 13. He is a trail runner, so he's not being held, makes him a 14. There are 2 outs, makes him a 16. The double's assumed to go to center. Buxton's a -2. It's a 14. So 1-14. And he's going to score the go-ahead run. They got to throw through. They have no choice. 1-14, he's safe. And he's out at the plate. Wow, what a play there. Buxton to Correa to Jeffers. And they get the potential go-ahead run trying to score from first on the double to end the inning. It's going to go 8-6-2. But the score is now tied. As we head to the bottom of the 9th, we are tied at 6. It's a blown save for Cole Sands. But on the positive side for the Twins, Buxton and Correa made a nice play on the relay to cut the runner down at the plate. So Sands is going to go 1 inning, and he's going to give up 2 hits and a run, 2 strikeouts and a walk. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. Score tied at 6. Let's see about Keegan Thompson. Keegan Thompson has pitched an inning and 2/3, so I think we're going to cap him there. And let's see what he did. He had 1 strikeout, gave up 1 hit, no runs, and no walks. So, new pitcher coming in for the Cubbies. And due up for the Twins, it'll be Castro, Miranda, and Jeffers due up for the Twins. So you got switch right and right. So I guess they're going to another right-hander. We'll see who they have available. Like I said, Neris is their closer, but he has been struggling as of late. but they're going to bring him in anyway. So they're going with Hector Neris. The other guys are kind of overworked, so they're going to go with Neris. 8-4, 3.89 ERA, and 17 saves for Hector Neris. He will be on for the Cubbies. He's a -1 hold, so that makes that a 0. It'll be switch hitter Willie Castro due up. Neris on the replay is 0-1 with 3 saves, but an ERA of 5.40. 3 innings pitched, 5 hits, walk, and 3 strikeouts. Hello, Mr. Breeden. Good to see you. Haven't seen you before, but welcome aboard. Bottom of the 9th, tied at 6. 1-8 for Castro, and that's going to be a fly to center. So Neris gets the leadoff man. 1 down for Miranda, designated hitter, and Miranda had a big double his last time up. 2-4, and this might walk it off. 1-8's a home run. That is an 8. There it is, right there, a walk-off home run. Look at it again. 2-4 for Jose Miranda against a right-hander is a 1-8, and the double die is an 8. So the Twins walk it off against Hector Neris and the Cubbies. Neris will now drop to 0-2 on the replay as he takes the loss, giving up the long ball. Neris goes a third of an inning, a hit and a run. Nothing else. Twins win it by the score of 7-6. The winning pitcher is Cole Sands. So we'll get the totals here real quick. But Jose Miranda, your player of the game, as not only did he have a big double to drive in a run in the 7th, but he also hits the home run to walk it off in the 9th. Jose Miranda. Jose Miranda, home run. That is his first home run of the replay, as a matter of fact. But he walks it off, and we go to the box score to get our totals and verify everything is correct that I have on the score sheet. Cole Sands is now 1-0. He did blow the save, but he gets the win. Neris drops to 0-2. 7 runs, 10 hits, and an error for Minnesota. 6 runs, 11 hits, and no error for the Cubs. Unfortunately for the Cubs, they dropped to 3-6 after 9 games. And the Twins go to 7-2 and keep their stronghold on first place ahead of the Dodgers. But the Cubs are getting buried here, and they're a better team than that, but they just haven't shown it so far. But Jose Miranda will get the job done, and the Twins win it 7-6. That is your final here. The final game on the third scheduled block is going to be Toronto and Kansas City. 2 other guys I don't know anything about. Bowden, I think his name is Bowden Francis for Toronto. I want to say his name is Bowden Francis. Maybe Bowden Francis. I'm not sure how it's pronounced for Toronto. See if I can find his card here. There it is, Bowden. I guess it's Bowden Francis. Is that how you say it? Bowden Francis. He's a right-hander. 13 starts, 8-5, and a 3.30 ERA. He will get the first start of the season for the Blue Jays. And for Kansas City, they will go to another guy I've never heard of before, Alec Marsh, another right-hander, Alec Marsh. But he was in 25 starts, 9-9 with a 4.53 ERA. So that will be the next game, game number 45. It'll finish up the third schedule block where each team would have played 9 games. And then after that game is over, new opponents will be put together. And I can give you a tease on what the new opponents were going to be. Hello, Dr. D. The new opponents, starting on the 4th schedule block, once we play the Toronto-Kansas City game, we'll move on to the next day. It'll be Oakland at Toronto, Minnesota at Miami, San Diego at the Yankees, the Dodgers at Pittsburgh, and the Cubs at the Royals. That'll be the next schedule block coming up once we finish up this Toronto-Kansas City game, either later tonight or on Monday, whichever the case may be. So hope you all enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic Demolition League. Jose Miranda, he is the man. Walk-off home run against Hector Neris, wins it in the bottom of the 9th after the Cubs tied it, and a big play by Buxton to throw out Suzuki trying to score from first on that double that kept the score tied and allowed the home run to actually walk it off. So that's going to do it from here. Like I say, hope you have a great weekend, whatever you have planned, and college football, whatever it may be. And as usual, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.